Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazaway. Let's talk some sports.
Hey, let's go! Monday show, February 26, 2024. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com, or the Fox local app if you are watching live. If you're watching on YouTube, part of the over 62,000 subscribers on this platform, we say hello. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button as well. Braylon Edwards, good afternoon to you, my friend.
The gang's all here for the very first time in about 11, 12 days. Ryan Ermanni, I miss you, man. It's good to see you. You got that beautiful Florida tan going on. How you been, man?
Oh, man, feeling good, looking good.
You left me here with Maz and P. Spivak.
I'm telling you, I apologize for doing that. Let me tell you, we were out there in Orlando, Florida, Celebration, Florida, at Disney World, and it was one of those bucket list items. As a pair, you're seeing some of the pictures if you're watching on the Fox local app or on YouTube right now. Seeing some of the pictures, Hollywood Studios, Epcot Center.
Look at you guys.
The Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom. Now, I was not a big Disney person growing up. Like, I only liked sports.
Blasphemy.
Sports was my entire life. Like, for instance, I never saw Indiana Jones.
What?
I never saw
Come on, man.
Star
Raiders
Wars.
of the Lost Ark?
Never saw any of these
Temple
movies.
of Doom?
So I didn't have a personal connection to any of this stuff. But the joy that my kids got through watching that was everything that made it so worth it for me.
100%. Now, I grew up a Disney kid. I can tell you every movie Disney had. I can tell you starting with the first one, 1939 with Snow White. I can tell you all the characters. I can tell you about... Just love Disney. I still love Disney. I love watching it with my kids. I love watching it with my niece. Love Disney World. First time I ever went to Disney World, I was 2 years old.
Wow.
Man. I tore the place apart. Thank God they've recovered since then. But I love Disney. I'm glad Luke and Lydia got that experience, man. I was just down there in Christmas. I went down there, Orlando, and kind of went off it. So glad you got that experience, man. You got a wonderful tan, by the way.
Yeah, feeling good. The weather couldn't have been better. Logged 8 miles one day, 7 miles one day. I mean, you just walking.
No wonder why you look so good over there, buddy.
Tom Mazaway would not be able to do any longer. He'd need one of those scooters. Hey, Tom, sorry, I come back taking shots.
Dang,
I come back taking shots.
It's been less than 5 minutes.
I just need to sit down once in a while, but I can still do it, right? I can still do it. I just can't keep up with my wife. She's a fast walker, and I'm not a big rides guy. I hate rides, matter of fact. But I do love going to Disney. Just leave me at the resort. You guys go to the park, and I'll be happy, as you know why. But back in the day, nothing made me happier than taking my kids. Nothing made me happier than that. When I saw your pictures, I felt like crying almost.
Because your kids,
they would still love to do that.
They were like that yesterday.
They were.
They were that age yesterday.
I'm not kidding.
You know,
they really were.
It goes quick, doesn't it?
It does.
It's so I can't explain how quick it goes.
It's funny because obviously this is your daughters you're talking about, so it went quick for you. We've been working together 4 years. I remember the first time I met them versus like now when they see them, they pop in. They're like little women. They're like grown women now.
I know.
It's crazy how time flies.
It is.
You know, Rich Baldwin in the chat says Ryan parents sheltered him from cool stuff. I had no interest in anything other than sports and wrestling
Tigers,
when I was a kid.
Same. Okay,
sports and wrestling. WWF.
It's not a bad
back
childhood.
in the day. WWE, like WrestleMania 3.
Side note, are you excited that The Rock is back?
Oh, yeah, I am. He's heel, though. He's a heel.
That's the best version of The Rock. JB, heel Rock is the best incarnation.
No doubt.
1,000%.
So, I mean, incredible stuff. By the way, I'm glad you mentioned JB is in the house. Pete Spivak is here today. So, great. A lot happened when I was gone, including, guys, anybody that's listened to this show over the period of coming up on 3 years now, know that we don't spend too much time talking about anything other than football.
Right.
And there really hasn't been a reason to talk about Red Wings hockey. I mean, you're talking about 7 straight seasons of missing the playoffs.
Yeah.
You're talking about 3 straight seasons before that of losing in the first round. So you're working on 10 years of pretty much nothing around here. But the last couple of weeks, Braylon Edwards, have been tremendous, including last night. I'm not sure there was as exciting a Red Wings regular season game as there was yesterday in Chicago. Playing, I think, their third game in 4 nights, or third game in 5 nights, something like that. 5. Seeing Patrick Kane go back to Chicago, seeing Chris Chelios have his jersey retired. During the jersey retirement, he's talking about Detroit, and you hear the Detroit sucks chant out of the Blackhawks fans. And then Patrick Kane gets the game winner in Chicago, and this team just looks like they are on a mission, Braylon Edwards.
Do you see the celebration video they put out for him?
Incredible.
Look at this thing.
Yeah, and you're talking about a guy that played for Chicago for the better part of 16 years, so he is a definite staple. He's a legend in Blackhawks, and to go along, Chris Chelios, who got his jersey retired, shout out to Chelly. They're playing great hockey, and I sat literally in the seat and argued with a guy sitting in that seat on Friday. Terry Foster talking about this is playoff hockey. It's starting to become familiar again. You're starting to see some good games. This is the second time that Patrick Kane has scored the winning goal in overtime, 2 out of the last 3 games. It's fun to watch. It reminds me of being young. It reminds me when I was in middle school talking about the Wings all day. It reminds me that I was at the University of Michigan and the Wings were winning championships, Stanley Cups, So I'm excited to see it because I think now you mix it with the Lions. You mix in some success here, and we're kind of excited about what the Tigers are doing. At once upon a time ago, this town was a great sports city as related to not just the fans, but winning championships, Stanley Cups, Larry O'Brien's, if you will, World Series 84. So I'm waiting for the city to get back to it. And right now, the Red Wings are doing their thing, and they're trying to help.
Hey, hats off to the Chicago Blackhawks organization. They put this video out. It was during a TV timeout, and Bally Sports stayed with it. And you see Patrick Kane just leaning on his stick, soaking it all in. His family is there in the stands. And first of all, I want to tell you this. Normally, I would no way have put this game on television. I would not sat down on a Sunday and watch this game.
Same.
But you know what? I'm eating dinner, and all of a sudden it reminds me, oh, wow, they're playing the Blackhawks tonight. Let me just take a look at my phone. Oh, they're in the second period. 1-goal game. As soon as dinner was over, I went to the living room. I popped it on. I called my wife in. I'm like, Kat, come in and watch this. I explained everything to her. And that third period was awesome. They couldn't do anything. The Blackhawks suffocated them last night. But they did it. The Oilers suffocated them on Thursday night. But they did it.
The Avalanche did the same thing.
Not the Oilers. I meant the Avalanche. That's what I meant.
Thing. Yeah.
And the Wings come back. 3 minutes to go in the game. They're still down a goal. They haven't even put a shot on goal in the third period. Here comes DeBrincat from the back of the net. He throws it up, hits the puck on the back of Peter Mrazek, who used to play here, by the way, hits him in the back of his pad. It goes in for the tie. And you just knew that Patrick Kane was going to get the winner.
Incredible.
3-on-3 hockey in overtime. I forgot how good it was. 3 breakaways. Finally, the Wings get the puck to Kane, and he scores. It was like a storybook. It was really like a movie. I watched Miracle the other day because it was Miracle on Ice Day. I put on the Disney movie.
That was Thursday, right?
Miracle. Thursday. I watched it when I came home from bowling. And here it is. This was a Disney movie. What are you kidding me with this?
This is amazing, man. And man, as you brought up something, you talk about the Chicago Blackhawks. You got to give great franchises, great organization. You got to give them credit when they do things like this. You're talking about a guy who played 16 years, won Stanley Cups there. He's a staple for that team. To honor him, like this is what's supposed to happen. This is how you, all franchises, all organizations, take a page out of that book, man. I had something happen to me on my birthday on Wednesday. The New York Jets.
I saw that. I thought that was tremendous.
Yo,
well done.
Yeah.
Like, got me teary-eyed. Yeah. Like, just, like, people had that love for you, man. Like, they
Woodward
had that love
Sports
for him.
did one for you, too.
They 100%.
No, I understand,
100%.
but like
the franchise,
I wrote one, Woodward Sports writes one, everybody's writing one. But when the franchise it means so much to you.
You know how many players have played for the Chicago Blackhawks? You know how many players have played for the New York Jets? The fact that they take time out to make something like that, like, that's what you play the game for. You want to feel appreciated. And when it happens, you're like, you know what? Good job.
And it just goes to show you, too, what happens when you're part of a championship team.
True.
You live with that team
forever.
In that city forever. And Bray, you were on 2 AFC championship New York
Almost.
Jets teams,
Yeah.
AFC Championship game teams, and they haven't been back to the playoffs since. When you have success with a team, and I think one of the things the Red Wings, and look, there's a lot of fans that have been on this Yzer plan for a long time. And those fans are being rewarded now. You will see so many of us bandwagon guys, and I'll lump myself into that. Bandwagon Detroit Red Wings fans that will now,
come back,
make it appointment viewing to watch Red Wings hockey, because not only it's the way they're winning is so exciting. And I'll tell you, for the geeks out there, and I'm one of those geeks, you will not find two better play-by-play guys than Ken Kal and Ken Daniels. The calls on Patrick Kane's goal yesterday was tremendous. Yeah. Both guys captured the moment. Both guys friggin' nailed it. And I think both guys helped people remember what we've missed around here for so long. The energy created from a Detroit Red Wings Stanley Cup playoff run. And who knows? Look, you get into the tournament and anything can happen. I'm not going to sell these guys short. They are 8 points clear of the New Jersey Devils for the wild card, and forget about just getting in. I think you've got your eyes set on Toronto now. You're 4 points back of the Leafs for getting that third spot in the division, which, I don't know, could make all the difference in a playoff run.
I want to say this. I got sidetracked a little. I was so excited. The reason I watched that game, that's why I wanted to bring this up. I haven't watched hockey really in a long time, and I mean truly watched hockey like we used to.
Yeah.
It was always on, no matter where you went. Restaurants, bowling alleys, no matter what. Put the Wings on. Put the Wings on. I couldn't have given a damn about the Wings or watching a Pistons game for the past, 8 years.
15.
8 years. And last night, like I said, I remembered at the dinner table, oh, the Wings are playing. Let me go watch them. And to get rewarded like I did, it feels great. And as a sports talk show host, producer, I've been doing this for 28 years. This time of year is very hard to come up with plans, to come up with ideas. We're locked in on the NFL, man. We had a great run with Michigan. The Pistons have won 8 games. They've lost 48.
Dude.
The Tigers gave up an inside-the-park home run on a pop fly this past second last night. Okay? The Red Wings, they've earned my respect. They've earned my viewership back. Because I love hockey. Love it. And I can't wait to celebrate with this team going forward again. So thank you, Red Wings. Thank you to Steve Yzerman for putting this team together. And I can't wait for the trade deadline to see what they get, because this team, as it's constructed now, is special. They might not be the best team, but they could win a 7-game series against anybody in the NHL right now.
Man, you're 100% correct, man. It just reminds me of being in college, University of Michigan, Ryan, and all my teammates wondering, like, why was I sitting at home watching the Red Wings? Like, because I grew up here. I remember when they lost in 95. I almost cried because they got swept. I remember the whole thing with D-Mac in 97. It led to 98, 2001, 2002. I remember they were fun. Shoot, when the Bulls won 72 games, guess who also won 72 or 71? The Red Wings did. They were on ESPN all the time. This is the first time I've seen an ESPN post about the Detroit Red Wings, and it's on the winning goal. So it's fun to watch. D-Mac said here, we talked to him on Thursday, Ryan. He's talking about it's 4 years into the Yzer plan. It takes 2 years to clear the books. So you're looking at it from this standpoint, man, in a 2-year span, he's done really well with this Red Wings organization. I'm excited. This the depth that they have. You got 10 guys that have 10 or more goals on the Red Wings team. That's depth. Can't wait to see what they do at the trade deadline.
Remember when we had Sean McDonough on a couple of weeks ago, and we always throw a hockey question at the end because he's the lead hockey play-by-play man for ABC, ESPN, and he was talking about the fact that he hasn't had the Red Wings much at all over the last 2.5 years or whatever, however long their deal has been back with ESPN, because there hasn't been a reason to be on ESPN or ABC. And now they were on. I think was it the Blues or the Stars the other day they were playing.
They beat the Blues, on Saturday.
On ABC.
It was 3-0 inside the first 4 minutes.
It was 4-0 after the first 4.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So they're playing the Blues on ABC now. Of course, Sean McDonough did not have the call on that one, but they were on ABC, and I think that's another opportunity for the country to see what we're getting a chance to see here in Detroit now that this team is on the rise, and I would not want to play this team in the playoffs at all.
You bring up a good point, Ryan. Maz, let me ask you, I know you're more of the resident hockey rules guy. Does it bother you, though, that the Red Wings are winning in overtime when it's 3-on-3 hockey versus that's not how the rules and regulations are once the playoffs happen? So, like, is it one of those things where it's fun now, but are you nervous about what their potential is in the playoffs?
Not at all, because
they get suffocated, like you said, and then 3-on-3 hockey, they turn into this great team.
They play better.
Yeah.
They play just as well now with Kane and DeBrincat. They could play from behind. They could play tied. They could play in front. Once they got behind back in the day, it was over.
Yeah.
They have enough offense.
2 goals, it's over.
They have enough offense now and just enough goaltending to hang in any game right now.
Let me ask if you guys are on board. 313-552-6322. 313-552-6322. Has the last week of Red Wings hockey, or even before that, giving you guys a sense that you are on board? You are all in with this team. 313-552-6322.
I've seen flags out.
Another aspect of this story that I want to kind of correlate to, Bray, is the Detroit Pistons. You watch what Steve Yzerman is doing with the Detroit Red Wings. They've got all these young draft picks. No number 1 overall guy. I mean, the Red Wings have been screwed every bit in the draft as the Detroit Pistons have been screwed in the draft.
Dylan Larkin is leading the Red Wings in goals scored. He's 48th in the NHL.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not.
He's 48th.
There's no number 1 pick, no number 2 pick, no number 3 pick. The Red Wings have literally had to do this through a bunch of depth guys, middle of the road guys in the first round. I don't want to call them middle of the road guys, but 5, 6, 7, 8 picks overall. But one of the things that Steve Yzerman has done that Troy Weaver has not been able to do, it's mix veterans in with these younger guys.
Troy Weaver only knows rookies.
Obviously,
barely.
Obviously, you've got Patrick Kane. That goes without saying. But in the offseason, you make the trade to get DeBrincat here. You sign a guy like Jeff Petrie. I mean, he's played 49 games. Veteran guy. David Perron is an older guy. You're mixing these veteran players with the young guys. You show them how to be a pro a little bit, number 1, what it takes to get through a season. But these guys can still play as well. And you can't help but watch the Red Wings and the way that thing has been built and not look at the Pistons and say, okay, we got a bunch of 20, 22-year-old kids. We're mixing a number 18, number 19-year-old guy. It's staggering.
Yeah, it is, but it also is one of those things, Maz and Ryan, that's the way of the NBA now. Like, you look at the NBA, they're no veterans. And you got the veteran guys, they're all-stars. They're guys like Kevin Durant. They're guys like Steph Curry. You look at most of these NBA rosters, all the guys on the team are young. They're 20 or 21, they're 22, they're 23. And I think you mix that in with the fact that we keep getting the 4th pick, the 5th pick, the 7th pick, the 29th pick in the draft. So even though Troy Weaver, I'm not giving him any credit, he doesn't deserve any. It's a hampering situation where the NBA has gone away from veterans, much like the NHL is very different because guys, we were just talking. Patrick Kane is in year 20, 19. Like, that's NHL. NFL is like that. Baseball is like that. NBA, the oldest guy on the roster, man, they're averaging like 24 years old now.
Today's the day back in, I forget what year, 1935, where the Yankees cut 40-year-old Babe Ruth. He signed with the Boston Braves today, and he played only till June and had to quit. They promised him he'd be the manager. I'm just saying, 40-year-old guys don't hang around these sports very often.
Yeah.
But to get a guy like Patrick Kane, here
What's
on
he,
this
35?
team. I would sign him again right now. I would give him a
3-year deal.
Right now, I would sign him. For how long you want to play? 2 years? 2 more? You're signed.
Because it's crazy.
Because he's going to win a cup here. He will win a Stanley Cup here.
Not only is he out there still winning games in overtime, Ryan and Maz, also it's the experience that he brings to the team. It's the leadership he brings to the team. He's won a Stanley Cup with the Chicago Blackhawks, so he brings that to these guys. He's helping to educate these guys, give them experience. It's helping them in moments. Dylan Larkin's the guy that's leading his team. You don't think it helps to have Patrick Kane behind him, giving him words of advice? Like, that veteran experience goes a very long way when trying to win.
No doubt about it. Ken Ozzie says Red Wings are more of a correlation with the Lions, though, Ryan. I get what you mean, though, and I think, when you have a bunch of good players, right? And the Red Wings had a lot of good players, above average players, budding stars. I think it's safe to say that they've got budding stars. I mean, whether it's Mo Sider or Lucas Raymond or Dylan Larkin or any of these guys, but when you put a player like Kane, like DeBrincat, amongst them, how that just elevates everybody's play. I look at the Detroit Pistons. Who's the guy that elevates Cade Cunningham? Who's the guy that elevates Jaden Ivey or Jalen Duren? And then conversely, you want to go to the Detroit Lions?
Who's elevating the rookie running back?
David Montgomery.
David Montgomery is.
Yeah.
Who's elevating the tight end? Well, the head coach
Jamison
probably.
Williams. Jamison Williams. Amon-Ra St. Brown.
And not to mention, I think some of the veteran guys like Marvin Jones didn't really have the greatest of years on the field. But Marvin Jones in camp getting around to Jamison Williams, I think that does help.
It does. When I was playing for the Jets, in 2009, we went to the AFC Championship, lost to the Colts. That very next year, we went out and brought LaDainian Tomlinson to the team. We went out and brought Jason Taylor. These are 2 gold jackets. Brought them to the team, and it instantly changed our offense. It changed our defense. Now, were they their Pro Bowl selves at that time? No, but we didn't need them to be that. What LaDainian Tomlinson did for Sean Green, he turned Sean Green into a better running back. What Jason Taylor did for that defensive line in terms of being in-game experience, being there before, seeing certain things, knowing when to be calm, when to be chill, when to press, when not to press, and also being that conduit to go between with the coach, with the player. It's insane what they were able to do. We went from 9 wins to 11 wins, but a lot of that is the locker room conversations. On the bus, riding the teams. After a tough loss, how do you respond? We got our butts with 49-3 by the Patriots. Jason Taylor, LaDainian Thompson, constant advice, constant things, and we were able to get it done. So that's the things that are invaluable. And
iron sharpens iron, right? I mean, some of the guys that you're playing against in practice every day
are some of the best ever.
Ever. You're not going to play a game on Sunday better than who you're playing against Tuesday through Friday.
Darrelle Revis, Antonio Cromartie, Jason Taylor, 100% iron sharpens iron. Good call.
So, I mean, whether you're playing for the Lions or playing for the Red Wings or playing for the Jets in the late 2000s, you just need players like that. I will say, when you look at the Detroit sports landscape, Lions, Tigers, Red Wings are all kind of living up here now. At least we think we can put the Tigers here before they even start the season. We think
don't put them there yet.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. But we believe anyway that they have the starting rotation to keep them in the race for the American League Central Division for a long time. And after the first month of the season, I could be totally wrong about that. But the belief is that they have what it takes to be in it.
Be competitive, and perhaps even win the Central Division. The Pistons are here, man. They are a total non-existent team in Detroit right now. I just, those other 3 teams here, and then the Pistons are way down.
But also it goes back to it starts at the top. You look at the Detroit Red Wings, Chris Ilitch, you see Steve Yzerman, you trust the front office, you trust the owner to a certain extent. They've always done well by the team. You look at now with the Detroit Lions, Sheila Hamp is an excellent owner right now. The front office, Brad Holmes is an excellent GM, front office guy. You look at the Tigers, you believe in, once again, Chris Ilitch. You believe in Scott Harris, who's just come over. You saw what he did with the San Francisco Giants. You see him win the Cup with the Cubs, the World Series. So you trust that. The Red Wings, not the Red Wings, but the Pistons, the owner's never here. And you got a GM that can't draft.
It's a great point,
regardless of.
It's a great take.
Regardless of being pick 4, pick 5, Kay Cunningham pick 1 the 1 year. Troy Weaver can't draft. He doesn't know what he's doing in free agency, and the owner is never around Tom Mazawar.
Guess what? Guess who's getting the next All-Star game in the NBA?
Not the Pistons.
Not the Pistons. The Pistons got a new arena, right?
Right.
Have they had an All-Star game
No.
here yet? You know who just got one?
Indianapolis.
Matt Ishbia and the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah.
An owner that gives a crap. An owner that is viewable. An owner that is out in front of things, speaking how he's going to put a championship team together. And we had William Davidson, and we had NBA All-Star game at the Palace.
Yep.
For them to not have an All-Star game even in the next few years, that's embarrassing. You got a beautiful arena.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not a basketball arena, but it's a beautiful
new.
arena. It's new. You're
and
supposed to
downtown,
get things
and
like
it's downtown
that.
Detroit.
I'm just saying, I wanted to come off of your owner's speak.
You're right about that 100%.
There it is.
Ford Field. What happened? You got Ford Field that opens in 2001. Well, they got a Super Bowl in 2005. 5 years later.
Yep, we got a draft
LCA's
now.
been open now 6-7 years now.
I forget.
And we're not sniffing an All-Star game, to your point. You're 100% correct.
But, Bray, you make a great point, too, about Chris Ilitch, because I think Chris Ilitch has been a little bit of a whipping boy here over the last decade for the lack of success that the Detroit Red Wings have had, and certainly the Detroit Tigers. And again, not to give the Tigers too much praise just yet. They have not played a game in 2024 yet. But I think for most people, you can see the organizational build with Scott Harris and with A.J. Hinch. The Detroit Red Wings with Derek Lalonde and, of course, 100%. Steve Yzerman. You see the way the organization is built, and I think you feel comfortable in that. Who's making the decisions for each organization, and it starts there. You cannot win in professional sports. You cannot win in life if you don't have a good organization. And it appears now that Chris Ilitch has built a really solid organizational structure with the Detroit Tigers, and it appears without question that he's done that with the Detroit Red Wings. And I think Chris Ilitch deserves a lot of credit here.
Look, when I was with the Cleveland Browns, Tom Mazaway, I never saw Randy Lerner and Romeo Crennel together, and Phil Savage, who was the GM at the time. I never saw those three guys together around Ermanni. And guess what? We stunk. We literally won 4 games my rookie year. We won 4 games my sophomore year, and then we won 3-3 my 4th and 5th year. Never saw those guys. When I went to the Jets, I saw Woody Johnson at every practice. I saw Woody conversating with Mike Tannenbaum, friend of the show. Shout out to Mike. Saw him conversating with Rex Ryan. Saw those guys. Went to the AFC Championship twice. When I was with Seattle, I saw John Snyder talking with Pete Carroll. Rest in peace, Paul Allen. I saw those guys. What happened to those guys after I left? They won a Super Bowl. When I was in San Francisco, Jim Harbaugh with Jed York, with Trent Baalke. Now, they don't get along, but I saw those guys together. Got to a Super Bowl. That's what it takes. You got to be on the same page. You got to be conversating. You got to be in charge. The day-to-day, you guys got to be around each other.
No
it's
doubt,
a disaster for the Pistons. It's a sin.
Yeah, it is.
It really is a sin. You want to own a team, man, then be part of that team. You know, you're out in California. How are you owning a team here in Detroit? Come on, you got to do something, Tom.
8-48.
You got to
I'll
do
tell
something.
you, hey, 75% ain't bad if you're talking about sports teams in the city of Detroit. So hang your hat on what the Lions are doing. Hang your hat on what the Tigers are doing, and certainly the Detroit Red Wings. Speaking of the Lions, it is the NFL Combine season. It starts today.
Let's go.
Some major news coming out of there already. We'll have that for you coming up. But first, a message from us here at WSN. How would you like some new Detroit sports wearables? Comfortable, affordable, anything you want. Hats, hoodies, tees, and everything in between. WoodwardSports.com. Click on the shop tab and get your gear today.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to WoodwardSports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to WoodwardSports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
Where's What's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
The game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Hey, Planet Fitness is your home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and I mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym with tons of equipment, a full-body workout in just 30 minutes, and all memberships include fitness training. Now, you get all of this with no commitment for only $10 a month.
Only $10?
Yes, only $10. Now, remember, no matter where you are, there is always a Planet Fitness nearby with more than 50 in the Metro Detroit area and thousands more throughout the world. Find your local Planet Fitness today to join or visit them online at planetfitness.com.
And let me tell you about Alta. That's right. Meet Big D Energy at the Michigan Green Industry Association event with Alta Equipment. Neil Rule, Darren McCarty, going to be live Tuesday, March 5th from 11 to 1. Come by the Suburban Collection Showplace in Novi. Say hi and talk Detroit sports. It features the latest products, technology, and services from exhibitors, including lawn and landscape, heavy-duty equipment, snow equipment, trucks, nursery stocks, chemicals, and everything in between. The Michigan Green Industry Association event with Alta Equipment and Big D Energy.
Alta.
Yup, time. It matters.
It matters.
It matters.
Glad to have Alta back with us here at WSN. All right, so guys, NFL Combine starts today in Indianapolis. Some major news coming from this. Caleb Williams will not throw. Jaden Daniels will not throw. But you know who will? J.J. McCarthy.
J.J. McCarthy.
Bo Nix and Michael Penix are going to throw. That workout is Thursday. So I believe that is Thursday. Saturday is the throwing. Saturday is the throwing for the quarterbacks.
Yeah, Bo Nix and Michael Penix have thrown enough passes over 8 years. I don't even know why they have to participate. No, and all jokes, though. But, Ryan, you've talked about
They're NFL veterans already.
Oh, 100%. Pretty much. They're like year 5 in NFL. But, Ryan, you've talked about J.J. McCarthy. You've talked about where you believe he's going to go. You talked about where you believe he's going to be in relation to this draft and being the best quarterback in it. This is where you make up ground, Ryan Ermanni. This is where you make up ground
today.
Yep, 100%. On the Caleb Williams of the world, of the Jaden Daniels of the world, of the Drake May, who right now is undecided whether he'll throw or not or he'll compete. This is where you make up the ground. The preparation that you've been putting forth, and whenever you're training out in California, this is when you showcase the arm. This is when you interview. This is when you sit down and you talk to these coaches. This is when you go to the board, Ryan Ermanni, and show them that you know how to conduct the offense. Now, you know how to operate on the move. You can operate and change the pace as they're throwing things at you randomly out of left field. This is where you make up that ground, especially on a guy like Caleb Williams, Drake May. There's a lot of the jury or the verdict is still out. Jaden Daniels, is he that guy? Drake May, is he that guy? Caleb Williams also. I think this is where he can kill it, and this is where you start to make up that ground and go from maybe pick 20 to pick 5.
So this is exactly the day, this is exactly the week that I've been looking at to start to see this J.J. McCarthy push up to the top 10 of the NFL draft. And I said I would take him number 1 overall. I would. I know he's not going number one overall. But if I was a general manager, I would take him number 1. First of all, I think he's got all the tools. Secondly, I know how this thing works. When you put a player like J.J. McCarthy around all of these NFL coaches, all of these scouts, all of these general managers, he is going to make them feel some kind of way.
Yeah.
He is going to make them fall in love with him. And we always see players that kind of come in from out of nowhere. And I do think J.J. McCarthy is kind of coming in from out of nowhere here when it comes to this stacked quarterback class. But when J.J. McCarthy goes through these interview sessions, top of the line, top of the list. There's going to be no quarterback in this draft this week that will interview with NFL teams that will knock the socks off of these teams more so than J.J. McCarthy. You are going to see so many stories come out of NFL circles about who really helped themselves this week at the Combine. J.J. McCarthy is going to be number one. And I think it's great that he is deciding to throw. He ain't scared. He ain't scared of nothing because he knows he can make every throw an NFL quarterback needs to make. He can do it in the pocket. He could do it on the run. He could do it sideways. He could do it no look. He can make every single throw. This kid is, again, going to be the best quarterback in the class when it's all said and done. Caleb Williams, question marks. And did you see what happened today? Merrill Hodge, Tom Mazaway, is your guy.
Again.
He has struck again. Merrill Hodge says that I would not touch May. Talking about Drake May.
No way on May.
He's extremely inconsistent. His processing is inconsistent. He's not extremely athletic. I find him more stiff. He's got a longer throwing motion, which allows more picks.
And he's from North Carolina.
I mean, so you've got May. You've got Williams. Now, to Merrill Hodges, he loves Jaden Daniels.
100%.
Loves Jaden Daniels. And I've not seen what he had to say about J.J. Penix or Bo Nix yet. But he's a no on Williams, he's a no on May, and he's a yes on Jaden Daniels.
I think he did say something about Penix that he did. He's not it.
I saw Penix up close and personal in the national championship. I saw all I need to see. He's not one of those elite quarterbacks. I don't believe he'll be an elite quarterback in the NFL. As it relates to Drake May, look, inconsistent is 100% right. The couple times that I saw him last year, I'm like, what's the hype? What's the big hype about it? There was some hype about a guy from UNC about 6 years ago named Mitchell Trubisky.
Yep.
How'd that end up for him? So 100%.
Sam Howell.
Another UNC guy had a couple good games last year for the Commanders, but for the most part,
he might be the best of all of them.
And 100% he was, and he got not highly touted, if you will. But going back to what you said, he's coming out of nowhere. Look, and he's not scared of anybody. The receivers coming out when I was in the Combine, it was myself, it was Mike Williams, it was Mark Clayton. Those were the three that they talked about. There was this kid from South Carolina named Troy Williamson. Well, he performed at the Combine. He ran a 4.3. He caught everything, had a tremendous workout. You know who he went before? He went before Mike Williams. You know who else he went before? He went before Mark Clayton because he showed up. Now, he didn't go before me, but he went. He came from the second round. He showed up. He performed. Coaches saw it. One thing, too, Ryan, when you go to that Combine and you're not afraid to put on a show, coaches value that. Coaches look at that because that's a big moment. That's a big stage, much like the NFL is going to be. You said coming out of nowhere. Listen to his stats. J.J. McCarthy's career stats are most of these guys 1 year career. One season. He had 6,200 yards. He had 49 touchdowns. That's 1 year for a Joe Burrow. That's 1 year for Caleb Williams 2 years ago. So, Ryan, they really want to see what he has to offer, man. So I hope he puts on a show, puts on a clinic.
In the way you see these guys pick apart quarterbacks in particular, are you guys watching Dynasty at all? The Apple TV Plus or Apple Dynasty? Plus on the New England Patriots. Through a couple of episodes, but one of the parts about it is Drew Bledsoe is able to come back. He's healthy. He's been medically cleared.
Washington State.
Bill Belichick decides to stick with Tom Brady as their starter. Nobody at the time could comprehend this decision. This was in Bill Belichick. He's had failed stints in Cleveland. He was 5-11 his first year in New England. He's not like this beloved genius at all during the time that he was making this call. But they show you a little game film and how Drew Bledsoe takes all these sacks. And, you're not thinking like that, but he just hangs onto the ball for a split second, takes a sack. He got big hit once, and it really made him kind of turtle in the pocket a little bit. And Bill Belichick always talks about, I got to do what's best for the team, not one player, but for the team. And I think part of that was evaluation on Bledsoe taking so many sacks, and Brady did not. And the reason why I say that is because I think when you really pick these guys apart, you could look at the stats all you want. And let me tell you the stats. But you can look at all the stats all you want. And like you said, some of these guys have one season. What J.J. McCarthy did in 2.5 years. But it's just, man, sometimes the eyes don't lie. The eyes don't lie, and when it comes to this player, it's tremendous. Now, also as part of the NFL Combine, Albert Breer was writing today. I think is he Monday Morning Quarterback or is he NFL Network? And either way,
NFL Network, I think.
I thought it was
NFL Network.
CBS even.
I was reading him today, and he referred back to the Detroit Lions and Brad Holmes having an evaluation of 14 first-round grades on players last year in the NFL draft. They say an NFL draft is really good if you have about 16 to 18 first-round grades on players. Last year, the Lions had 14 first-round grades on players. This year, they believe there's 32 first-round grades.
Ooh.
They think this draft is tremendous and loaded with high-end talent. So we are here in Detroit. We're going to get to see a really good draft, and I'm really looking forward to that.
29th pick, though.
Yeah.
But based on what they're saying, a loaded draft, this means there's going to be a lot of players. So 29th pick isn't as bad as I think we think it is when you look at it like that. Usually when there's a lot of first-round grades, Ryan Ermanni, that means there's a lot of good offensive and defensive linemen in this draft, and I think this is one of the most loaded offensive lineman drafts we've had in about the last 20 years.
No doubt, and they need some help there, too. And you're getting a look at the Lions draft picks right now. 4 of the top 92 picks. And you look at those 2 third-round picks, right? I mean, there's no doubt 73 and 92 are getting bundled up to go up higher.
Can I say something? And this is based on how good Brad Holmes has been picking late and making moves. Yeah, we have pick 29. We have pick 61. Am I the only one that's super excited about 73 and 92?
No.
Like,
you won't see them. 73 and 92 are getting packaged together, I think.
Let's act like we are.
We're going up to the top 10.
About that I'm more excited about 73 and 92 than I am 29.
Listen, man, we've got the show here in Detroit, and Brad Holmes spoke today, and we'll talk about it. But one of the things he said is, we got the pick 29. Who knows? We might not even have a pick in the first round. He threw that little tidbit out there, and you said it, Rye. There's no way in hell they're not picking in the first round. I don't care what Brad Holmes
just because of the fact that it's in Detroit.
Correct.
I do think that it plays a role in the decision making.
Terry
of Brad
Foster
Holmes.
told me I was crazy for saying that. Remember we talked about Terry? Like Terry was like, I don't think he cares about the first round. I'm like, I disagree.
I do think that plays a role in any decision making that Brad Holmes would make on any potential trade with that first round pick. To have an NFL draft in Detroit and to not have the local team pick on Thursday night, not going to happen.
100%.
I'm sorry.
I agree.
It's not going to happen. If there was a round 1 and round 2 on opening night, but you are not bringing 300,000 people downtown on Thursday night. Everybody in the city of Detroit is so they're waiting all night for their pick at 29. And then as your pick at 29 gets there, there's been a trade. The Detroit Lions have traded out of the first round. It ain't going to happen, guys. No way.
They'll storm the stage.
Yeah.
Maz, will the 29th pick for the Detroit Lions this year, if drafted at 29, no bundles, no.
Be about 11 o'clock at night.
Okay, you're not lying about that because draft starts at what, 7:45, 8?
Something like that.
Will he be the most beloved Lion for the simple fact that he's a first-round pick and the draft is in Detroit?
Exciting,
Because it'll always be like reminiscent of that moment, if you will.
Depends who he is.
This is true.
If it's Lawrence Taylor, he is.
In the WoodwardSports.com chat, Ken Brown says, who said 32 first-round picks? I heard the draft wasn't that deep. In Albert Breer's column today, he refers to the Brad Holmes 14 first-round picks
KB is
last
struck
year.
again.
This year, he writes, according to one of the guys that he's talked to, I believe it was an AFC scout. He's got 32 first-round grades.
It's going to be interesting, man. You got some quarterbacks in there. Like I said, offensive line is pretty stacked. Defensive line is pretty stacked. You got the kids out of Florida State. You got some Georgias always. You got some Alabama. So it's going to be interesting, man.
But even if you take those 32 guys, like say this AFC guy is wrong.
Okay.
Say you take those 32 guys and give me 20.
Yeah,
that's by far and away.
If you're saying
better than last year.
If you're saying 32, it's not like you're going to go from 32 and it's like 12. You're saying 32 to your point, Ryan. That means there's at least 20 to 22 in there, 100%.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know,
now, who is it going to be? What position will it be?
This is true.
At that point of the draft.
Right.
It could be an O-lineman. It could be an O-lineman.
You know, Brad Holmes, you mentioned Brad Holmes spoke today on a radio station in Detroit earlier today. He talked about, and tomorrow I believe Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell speak at the Combine.
Oh, good.
So we'll get a chance to hear from them tomorrow. I believe that's the case. But earlier today, Brad Holmes was talking about, and I like this mindset, right? Talks about need versus best player available. And what he was saying was he likes to fill needs in free agency and likes to take best player available in the draft. And I think that's a really appropriate way to go about it. I mean, and just to relate this to the dynasty of the Patriots that I'm watching on Apple TV, when they're sitting there in the 6th round with Tom Brady at 199, they were like, we don't need a quarterback. We have no use for a quarterback. And Brady came in as the number 4 quarterback. He wasn't even the backup.
Wow.
Yeah.
But they're sitting there looking at their draft board, and Brady was rated so much higher than anybody that they could potentially take at 199. They were like, we've got to take this player.
Yeah.
He's just rated so much higher than everybody else that we have. So that's why they took him.
That makes a lot of sense.
And Brad Holmes kind of seems like he follows that mindset.
That makes a lot of sense. You know, if you get the best available player in free agency, is that player going to fit your culture? Is that player going to fit in with what you've already built? Is that player going to come here and change it up a little bit? Is that player going to come in versus when you pick him in the draft, that guy's coming to your team. He's excited. I still remember going to the Browns. Look, I can crack all the jokes I want to about the Cleveland Browns, man, about the mistake by the lake and blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, I got drafted by an NFL team, which was my dream. So when I got to Cleveland, I was excited. I was ready, boots on ground. Let's get it. That's how these guys are going to be when you draft them, the best available talent on the board. They're coming here. They're ready to play, especially when your team is as good as the Detroit Lions were last year in the NFL.
Let me ask you this, because I did hear Brad Holmes speak about free agency. And I really don't like what he said. What he basically said is, I don't believe in going after, we only need one player to put us over the top. I don't believe in that. He says, what if you take that player and he's with you all camp and then he's not with you in October and November? I guess he gets hurt. I'd rather have, and he didn't say depth, but the way he spoke, he's like, I'd rather just have depth at each position. But I could poke holes in that. Because if you say that, you're going to tell me, let's just say Montez Sweat. I'm just going to throw his name out there. He changed that Bears defense. Am I wrong at that?
Not at all.
Okay. Are you going to tell me if the Lions had signed him last year instead of letting him go to the Bears? And you have to pay him. I get all of that. But the Lions have almost $60 million.
A lot of cap room now.
Sure.
Okay? Let me say that. If you had signed Montez Sweat and you liked him and you thought he was going to fit your culture, do you believe the Lions would not have improved on the defensive line and secondary last year? Do you believe they would have improved if you had Montez Sweat?
They definitely would have, but it's about what they would be able to do this offseason. It's about what the moves that they would be able to make in the free agency this year in terms of bringing in extra players. Because you just see what his deal was, too, once he got to the Chicago Bears.
I get that.
Upwards of $100 million.
But is he a bad player or is he a good player?
He's a damn good player. You saw with the Bears.
Yes.
Shoot, they beat the Lions.
Yes.
They beat the Lions when they played them the second time. So 100% he affected. But that was a trade deadline move versus a Chris Jones, who was a unrestricted free agent, et cetera, et cetera.
I know that.
Yeah.
But him saying that one player can't put you over, I disagree with that. A team that's stocked like this Lions team
Just look
is
at the
stocked.
Red Wings and Patrick Kane.
I think
I just think a player of that magnitude and going forward in this free agent class I think if you go out and sign one of the big talents out there, I do believe that it could put you over the top.
You know what I think about that, though, man? Is like, I agree with you 100%. He's wrong on that, but I think it's because of how the culture has been built here. Like, no player is above another player. Like, Amon-Ra St. Brown is the same as Jamison Williams, is the same as Aiden Hutchinson, and Frank Ragnow. You can go down the list. That's how they built this team. It's family. It's, it's all of it. It's not one individual player. And I think his mindset is letting the players know that not one person is going to come here and be above you guys that are already here. Like he always says, I love every guy in this room. And I think that's more so what it is, him trying to like convey that message out loud to the team as opposed to him truly believing in that.
But to me, this is a big off season.
Yeah, it is.
And if there's a guy out there that you think can really put you over, but you got to pay a little bit more for him, I say go ahead and do it.
Oh gosh, absolutely.
Go ahead and do it.
Mass, absolutely.
But they're signing players on cheap deals. This is what they've been doing. They got CJ on a 1-year deal. They got Emmanuel Mosley on a 1-year prove-it deal. Cam Sutton they gave a little bit more to. And you lost 2 of those guys to injuries. I don't know. I just think sitting back and letting these big names go, there are people out there that can help this team.
I think also, too, Brad Holmes plays poker. We watched Brad Holmes play poker for the better part of 2.5 years now in terms of all season during the draft. I think it's a poker hand, too. There may be a huge – this is the biggest offseason for Brad Holmes. This is the biggest one he's had so far.
I agree.
You got to the NFC Championship last year doing it your way, building it the way you did it, but you didn't get over that hump. This is a chance for Brad Holmes to make that move, to bring those guys in. So I think it's a bit of a poker face, if you will. Something's on the horizon, Ryan Ermanni. That's just my estimation.
And Brad Holmes has not really shown that he's been as successful in signing free agents as he has in the draft. I think that has been an area of weakness for Brad Holmes. It's the free agents. And look,
because you're playing it cheap.
And you sign guys and they get hurt. There's not a lot you can do about it. I understand that. But CJ didn't play all year. Emmanuel Mosley didn't play all year.
Ran his mouth all year.
Cam Sutton got cooked more so than he did.
Yeah.
The 2 wide receivers he brought in year one, Brett Perriman and Mike Williams, didn't even make the team out of camp.
Yeah.
DJ Chark was a nice player for this team.
Yeah.
Marvin Williams didn't do anything for these guys at all. They have been less than big time splashes, or really less help than anything when it comes to the free agency. Draft is completely home run city.
Correct.
You can't even touch that. That's why I used to be a big mock draft guy, not even looking at them. I used to race to the computer.
Well, that's because we were top 10.
I understand, but even now, I used to race to the computer to see who had the latest mock draft up.
Right.
I haven't looked at one mock draft, and I can't even tell. Mock drafts to me don't do anything because
we have a winning team now.
Yeah.
Not only do we have a winning team, but this guy that's picking the players for Detroit
knows what he's doing.
He's pretty darn good.
This is true.
And
so far, so good.
And he's out of the box on, you can't take a running back that high, and you certainly can't take a safety that, or a tight end. He knows what he's doing in the draft. I do think free agency, his picks have been less than stellar.
100%. Thinking about it, and you brought up DJ Chark. If you look at a lot of the free agency moves that he's made, a lot of injured guys. DJ Chark missed a ton of time while he was here. Breshad Perriman, when he got
time in Jacksonville as well.
Too. Breshad
They're
Perriman,
all injured guys.
He was injured. Emmanuel Mosley, he was injured when we signed him. C.J. Gardner-Johnson wasn't injured, but got injured. So you're talking about something special right now. I mean, a lot of injured guys and a lot of necessarily misses in that free agent. That's why I think this is a pivotal year for him, because every week, all the credit we give him, which is rightfully so for how good he is in the draft. On the flip side, that free agency side, he hasn't been as stellar as he has in the draft.
What do you guys think? 313-552-6322. Are you, should I say, is it just simply in Brad Holmes we trust when it comes to the free agency part of it? In the draft, we know he's going to take care of. But do you believe the Lions are one player away? Are you hoping for a big splash this free agency? 552-6322. Also, getting back to my assessment on the NFL draft in the first round and Brad Holmes trading. I grew up in an era of WWE where you had retirement matches.
Yeah.
Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, and the retirement match.
I'm sorry. Sweet chin music.
I will make a statement today that could bite me or could not.
Uh-oh.
If Brad Holmes trades out of the first round and the Lions have 0 first-round picks in the NFL draft, I will quit this job.
Ooh.
I will leave this network.
What about me, though? Hey,
I will quit.
How you going to leave me?
That's how confident I am that the Lions will not trade out of the first round
Be careful.
this year compared to any other year.
Okay.
There is no way that hundreds of thousands of people are going to pack the streets of downtown Detroit, Campus Martius, and wait for 3 hours for their team, and really even they'll start gathering before the NFL draft starts, and will wait all night for their team to pick at 29, and there'll be a trade where Brad Holmes just trade out of that pick. I'm so confident in that I will quit this job if he does.
Devil's advocate, as much we trust Brad Holmes in the draft, if he does Ryan Ermanni, I mean, isn't this what Brad Holmes does?
Oh, if he does it, I'm not saying it wouldn't be the right call.
You're just saying you don't think he's going to do it.
I'm just saying I don't think you can do it.
Okay.
I just don't think you can do
We
it.
do not accept your resignation, by the way.
Well,
you
I
got
might have to.
you got to do the Monday show first.
Yeah.
Do the Monday show, then
Right.
quit.
Well, fine.
Technically Friday.
I'm not saying it would be the wrong thing for the
Gotcha.
franchise.
We're through, and you're fired.
I'm just saying I don't think you can do it.
Yeah. Okay. I agree.
But how exciting is the 29th pick?
Well, it's exciting when you've been
I'm-
waiting there all
I'm
night.
gassed already. People are leaving bars by the time the 20s. By the time you're in the 20s, people don't give a damn anymore. They don't give a damn. Matter of fact, last year it was in Kansas City. I don't even remember who the hell Kansas City took last year with their first pick. Let's look back and see who the Chiefs picked at like 31.
The DB.
Who'd they wind up taking?
They got a DB.
Whoever they took probably turned out pretty damn good.
All right, let's see
to
here.
begin with.
I'll tell you right now.
But
who
I'm
they took.
interested. Who did they pick last year when Kansas City
Didn't they get the
was
DB?
mobbing Arrowhead?
Didn't they get the DB started?
They got.
Who was it?
Uzama.
Oh, D-lineman.
Okay.
You know who the 29th pick was last year?
Who?
Brian Brisset. Remember we said
Brian Brisset.
Remember he was mocked to Detroit. You know who was at 28
1000%.
last year?
Who?
Miles Murphy.
Oh,
How many
Miles
times was he
Murphy.
mocked to Detroit? Right?
Texas A&M?
He's on his way.
I'm just looking at guys
yeah.
in the 20s.
Texas Tech.
26th,
It's Texas
Mozzie
Tech.
Smith.
Oh, Mozzie.
I mean,
I got a
that's pretty
story
good.
about Mozzie Smith.
Hey, pick
Uh-oh.
number 30. Pretty good player. Nolan Smith, Georgia.
Georgia.
Not
Yes.
bad, huh?
Yeah.
Pretty good stuff there, guys.
So, who was 31 and 32 while you're at it?
Well, 31 was the
Kansas City Chief.
Kansas City
Oh, that's
Chief
right.
player. Big Chief, you're on
Big Chief.
Woodward Sports Network. How you doing, Big Chief?
What's good, baby? Yo, happy birthday, belated birthday to Maz, to Braylon. My whole family's born in February.
Thank you,
I'm
Chief.
from New York.
What's up, big guy?
What's up, baby? Listen, I'm a long-time Lions fan. I'm the only one in Delaware who root for the Lions. I will ride or die with the Lions. 313-810 all day long, baby. Let's go. I'm excited for the draft. Maz, I finally agree with you about the one player making a difference. Otherwise, Ryan, you keep it up. Braylon, your hair looks good, baby. Let's go, Ryan.
appreciate
All
that.
good.
Thanks, Chief.
That's my guy.
Thanks, Chief. We
that call.
appreciate you, buddy.
All right, Chief.
Absolutely. If you want to get in, 313-552-6322.
He finally agreed with me.
Get on the show.
Took him a long time.
Today.
But he finally agreed.
All right, guys, we're going to take a break. When we come back, more NFL. Take a look at the salary cap. Who's got the most space? Also, Nick Saban weighing in on college football.
Ooh.
The disaster that is.
I had to run that back with you here.
Oh, man. man. You know it. But first, a message from Fairway Packing Company. For over 60 years, Fairway Packing Company has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry-aged beef. You can experience the Fairway difference for yourself today. Visit the steak shops in Grosse Pointe Woods for grab-and-go steaks, or you can order online. They ship next day. Fairwaypacking.com, fairwaypacking.com.
Big Boy Seafood Fest is sailing in with a fresh catch of favorites. Dive into fish and chips, our new palm-crusted cod, perfectly fried clam shrimp platter, or a delicious fish sandwich. Try our new mango iced tea, the ultimate complement to our popcorn shrimp, our all-new fried pickles, shrimp alfredo, or shrimp stir-fry. Experience all the sea has to offer every Friday night with our all-you-can-eat seafood buffet. Every day is a fish fry, only at Big Boy.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Winning is a habit. So is listening daily to Woodward Sports. We're glad you're a winner, and thanks for listening.
Hey guys, it's Maz from Premier Pet Supply. PremierPetSupply.com. Do not settle for less. Give your pet the best. Premier Pet Supply, hands down, Michigan's best pet store. Family owned and operated for over 30 years. 13 Metro Detroit locations, over 60 brands of food at the lowest prices available. And they got delivery for you. Curbside delivery and home delivery if you need it. Give your pet the best. PremierPetSupply.com. Ryan?
All right, Maz, thank you so much. Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and register to win a trip of your dreams, an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament. That's right, no expense spared for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's open 7 days a week. You can walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. Woodward Sports Network on a Monday. The sun is shining. The month of February is ending. We are heading towards spring. March 1st at the end of this week. Are you kidding me?
How about it?
Feels like we are going to pay for this
month
of February at some point in March and even in April.
You know it. Opening day.
It got cold the other day, though. Like, it was going back and forth. It was super cold. It was a Saturday. Friday and Saturday, it was real cold.
Yeah, man, we're going to get, a pair of 60s this week at some point.
It might be a 70 in there.
Oh,
wow. How about that?
Ooh.
Who says February isn't a great month,
I'm trying to tell you, man. February 21, February 18th,
what are we telling you, man?
No doubt. Guys, just a couple of I'm not a big salary cap guy.
I know.
At all. But
this is extra money.
Yeah, I do think it's interesting that the Lions are really up there when it comes to the salary cap number. The league has raised its salary cap to $255.4 million. That's over $30 million on the increase. So, when we talk about paying Jared Goff $50 million, that really does not. I think because that increase, that really offsets that price tag of paying Goff.
Yeah, 100%. At the same time, too, I mean, this is the going rate for players anyway. The quarterback position, you're talking upwards of $48 to $50 million. Look, if they pay Jared Goff $50 million, look, he deserves it. He came here, he did his job, he won 2 playoff games in the span of 3 years. So he's put himself in a position to get that money. But like you said, man, 255, you increase it by $30 million. So now you got some money, you have some wiggle room to pay some players. And it's right on time for the Lions because some players are due. Amon-Ra St. Brown will be due if you want to do an extension. Panay Sewell is coming up. Aiden Hutchinson the following year. Jared Goff this year. Got to pay some guys, so this actually works in the Lions' favor.
There's 13 extra million that they didn't think they were going to have.
Right.
That's where you can keep a guy like Jonah Jackson. That's where you can keep a guy like him.
Good call.
Right? Why let him go somewhere? He's part of this offensive line. You got 13 extra million. I know everyone else does too. But why not keep him here in town? Why go fishing in the draft for one? I'm sure you could find somebody but you got a guy that you know can do the job. Just pay him.
It's an interesting point you make, and I think, look, Braylon, you mentioned it when it comes to the draft and all the offensive linemen in this draft. I think that really is the calling card for this franchise, is the identity they're built with is that offensive line, who they are up front, what they're able to do offensively. And I think Graham Glasgow for sure is somebody that you've got to re-sign. And now that extra money does allow you to at least be in the conversation for Jonah Jackson, to keep him, unless you feel comfortable with one of those guys like Sorsdale or Owaski or Owaska.
The Rams let their center go, all-pro center. They let him go. I mean, there's meat out there to get.
There's no doubt. Got to get this in. I got to take care of my Disney people. Great Lakes 24 going to Disney next week. Any recommendations? Yes. Make sure you have the Disney app and wake up at 6:59 and do all the lightning lanes. Have a plan on what ride you want to go on, and do a lightning lane on Genie Plus.
Side note, also do off Disney. That off Disney was real fun. So like people that necessarily don't want to go into the park and spend $500 a ticket or $400 or whatever the crazy prices are, you can do the off Disney and still get some of that same experience. That's what because we didn't go to Disney, or we didn't go to Orlando for Disney World, but we happened to go by off Disney and it was fun. You still got the Disney shops, you get the restaurant, you still see some of the characters floating around. It's a great space if you don't want to pay. Those tickets are expensive. If you don't want to do that, you can go off Disney.
So that's my Disney public service announcement to you out there. So as far as the salary cap, I think you can manipulate these numbers any which way you like. I'll never forget when I think it was the New Orleans Saints were $80 million over the cap. And then a couple of different restructures, they were like $30 million
it's
under.
Fake money.
It is fake. You sign who you want to sign, and you make it work later. Now, if we can get away from that and get to this, I think it's the most intriguing story in the NFL, and we'll see maybe some movement this week, maybe not, with all of these teams converging on Indianapolis for the NFL scouting combine. What happens with Justin Fields? Now, as a side note, Justin Fields was on with the St. Brown brothers on the 33rd teams. Just a couple of things. He called the Lions dirty. Says they're a dirty team. Here's this. Sorry, 1 second here. We'll get that for you. No
talk
problem.
to anyone you want. We got the show to do. You can talk to who you want.
Fields.
Yeah, Fields. That'd be great.
I'm not going to cap.
Bro, no, we don't. Who's dirty?
Okora? Anzalone, bro.
34 is not dirty. No, he's not.
Anzalone, bro. He be doing a little bit too much extra stuff for me, dog.
He just plays hard. That's how we're taught. We're gritty.
Julian Okora last year, we played you guys in Detroit. Bro, late hit and blindside on Lucas Patrick. Like, bro, no flag. Like, he's a Notre Dame guy. He's my dog, but that was like hella dirty. I'm like, bro, come on, bro.
Like, even out of bounds this year, bro. Like, out of bounds, I got to make sure I run 3-4 yards out of bounds because y'all still be trying to push me when I'm going out of bounds. Like, just doing too much, stuff like that.
I ain't gonna lie. Dan be in the meetings. He would show, like, clips of teams that we're playing against. Quarterback is one step still in bounds. He would be like, hit him. I want you guys to hit. It's legal. Like, he wants you to play toe the line. Like, if his foot is still in bounds and the other foot's about to not even touch out of bounds, hit him.
Yeah.
Like, you still got to hit him. I'm like, damn. But then you get a flag on the game. I'm like, yo, why are we hitting the fucking quarterback? But like, hey, that's what we're taught. Like,
yeah, y'all play different, but I got to give it to y'all.
I watched a lot of that.
Yeah,
they're good.
They're good.
It was a really, really captivating conversation, and I think Justin Fields, when he's with his contemporaries, you are disarmed a little bit.
Yeah.
You let your guard down a little bit. You're talking to your friends. You're talking to your contemporaries, as opposed to hopping on with traditional media and doing an interview like that.
Yeah, you got to really appreciate Draymond Green for kind of really bringing this space to the players, because obviously former players were doing it in some podcasts, but Draymond's one of the first guys to do it while he still was playing, so you got to shout him out. And you're just relaxing. You're chilling. You're talking, man, and you're just enjoying yourself. Plus, that's one of his teammates as well, and Equiminius. That's one of his teammates, so that's also that relationship there. I don't know if I'm Amon-Ra St. Brown, though, if I'm divulging that information. Saying what Dan Campbell said in the meeting room, I get it. It's a podcast. Everybody, you want to give them the peek behind the curtain.
Everybody's trying to get the clicks.
The fourth wall, I get that. But I'm not divulging what Rex Ryan did when I was a player. Now that I'm done playing and he's done coaching, I can tell you what Rex was like as a player. I'm not saying he was like, yeah, you know, when he gets 1 foot out of bounds, he's still in, hit him. Watch that, Amon.
Justin Fields is the biggest story in the NFL to me right now. I mean,
we've been talking about
He changes everything. He changes everything.
This entire offseason is predicated on what Chicago does with this one player.
Yeah.
And I can't get enough of it because I can understand everything. I would not trade Justin Fields. I would not do it. I just wouldn't do it. I think the Chicago Bears can set themselves up beautifully by trading out of that pick.
Yep.
And keeping Justin Fields, you now have a quarterback that give him a couple weapons. I mean, add a Marvin Harrison. Drop down to 2. Drop down to 3.
Wow.
Let these guys trade up for Caleb Williams if they want, or Jaden Daniels or whoever. Let them do it. I'm keeping my guy. And I'm adding a Marvin Harrison, or I'm adding an offensive tackle to protect him a little bit. And I'm picking up some picks, man.
The guy's improved every year. And I know it's incremental, but someone put up a stat, Michael Vick against him. His stats were as good as Michael Vick's at this point in their careers. I think the kid's got it. They haven't hit on a quarterback in their entire lives. They haven't.
And don't undersell, Braylon, I'm sorry. Don't
ahead.
undersell with this additional $30 million in cap space for the salary cap does to the mindset of Chicago saying, maybe we don't have to reset the clock on the quarterback position. Maybe we can pay Justin Fields a little bit. Hell, how much is Justin Fields worth? I mean, if you got... Can you get Justin Fields for $35 million?
Easy.
Can you? Because if you can pay Justin Fields $35 million, you've got yourself one.
Actually, no, I take that back. There's no way.
$40 million?
He's over 40.
Okay.
He's over.
Can he make
40's the
$40
minimum.
million?
40 is like a minimum.
So
now.
you're still getting a $10 million discount.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100% you can get Justin Fields for $40 million. I mean, you look at what Daniel Jones got, and I know he won a playoff game, but I don't care. They paid Daniel Jones $45 million. Justin Fields could definitely get that. And
He's Vanilla Vic you're talking about.
Hey, you may even relax on that. But yeah, like with Justin Fields, Ryan, I agree. He was cold at Ohio State. Like when he had an offensive coordinator, he was one of the first quarterbacks at Ohio State that I thought wasn't just the system. It wasn't him throwing checkdowns to the running backs, to the wide receivers, and letting them make all the plays. He was an elite passer at Ohio State. You give him a defense. Montez Sweat, defense played a lot better last year once he got on that team. You give him a Marvin Harrison on the opposite side of DJ Moore with Cole Kmet on the inside.
And you need a running back, but you can get that.
100%. When
you can get that.
Do you see all the running backs that are up right now?
You can get that.
You have pick 1 and pick 9.
Yeah.
Not to mention whatever you do with pick 1. They could do a lot of things. The Detroit Lions, watch out. The Chicago Bears, if they have a right offseason, if Ryan Poles comes to play, Chicago Bears could be a problem.
That number 1 pick is worth a ton.
Adam Schefter, running backs that will not be franchise tagged this year. Saquon Barkley. Josh Jacobs, Tony Pollard, Austin Eckler, and Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry.
Yeah. You put one of those guys in a backfield with Justin Fields and Marvin Harrison and DJ Moore on the outside.
Look out.
You're talking about a cold city, on grass. Hate that. Derrick Henry could be a good fit for this team on a 2-year deal. He's getting older, we know that, but just in a 2-year span, Derrick Henry, can you imagine trying to tackle Derrick Henry in Chicago in December when you got DJ Moore, Marvin on the other side, Cole Kmet, and Justin Fields, who's also a running quarterback as well? That could spell disaster for this division, man.
It all sits with this Caleb Williams guy.
Yeah.
He's sitting on the top there, on the throne. He's not going to throw at the combine. He doesn't have an agent. Did you hear that,
Yes,
right? He's
I
going
did.
without an agent.
I did.
All the red flags pop up on this guy. But he has the
Marvin
talent.
Harrison's going without an agent too, just to be fair.
Right. And Braylon's brought up a lot of good people that didn't go with agents. And maybe when you, first of all, as a rookie, you probably don't need an agent, right? If you know you're going to go
I'd
one,
want to
2,
be
or
taken
3.
care of.
Well,
I'd want to be.
Well, you are, but
care
there's
of.
only so much money that you could be paid.
Right.
In other words,
Yeah.
You fit in a slot. If Caleb Williams is this generational guy that they think he is, if you know he's a slam dunk, then you got to take him. If there's any questions, trade the damn pick.
Yeah, I agree. Especially when you got a guy in Justin Fields, and it's funny, we talk about the Bears not hitting on a quarterback since Jim Harbaugh, or it's Eric Kramer, and that was in free agency. What if Justin Fields is the guy, and then you get rid of him, and Caleb Williams isn't, and Justin Fields goes somewhere and he blossoms? Now you're like, dang, not only did we miss on the quarterback, we had him and gave him away. So 100%, that's that Justin Fields thing, man. Like, we've been talking about him for the better part of 2 years now.
He could be a New England Patriot. They could get that pick maybe for him.
You can't.
They don't have any talent in New England now. I would hate to go if I was Justin Fields.
Caleb Williams doesn't want to be a Chicago Bear. If you believe any of the reports that are out there,
he wants to go to D.C.
He doesn't want to go to Chicago.
So the Commanders, they move up, they take the 1 pick.
So that's what, sure.
Yeah.
But you can't force people to do things that they don't want to do. You could tell, and who was it? I think it was Jay Glazer, even, telling the Williams camp, like, you'll have statues and street names and bridges named after you in Chicago if you go there, play there, and succeed there. Yeah. Like, it's an incredible sports town. You want to play in Chicago. Yeah. Jay Glazer could tell Caleb Williams, Chicago, all he wants. But if Caleb Williams doesn't feel that from day one, and he doesn't want to go there, I get a sense that he's that type of guy that he's just not going to be it. He's not going to be good in Chicago.
Yeah, I think if I'm Caleb Williams, I can understand from one perspective. Look, he plays in L.A. right now. He plays at USC, one of the biggest institutions in the country, one of the largest cities in the world. A lot of love, respect. So, you try and tell him about cities and statues and things of that nature in Chicago. He's like, look, I got that now. I want to be happy. I want to go somewhere where I fit in. I want to go somewhere that I feel like I can win. I want to go somewhere that people aren't talking about how bad the quarterback situation has been and how bad that franchise is. So, shoot, if that's what he doesn't want to do, like you said, Ryan, it's 2024. He's not going to do it. You can't force him to do something he doesn't want to do. And if you're the Chicago Bears, maybe you pay attention to that energy because you don't want to bring somebody in that basically has told you, I don't want to be here. His father has tripled down. We don't want to go to Chicago. And then you draft that guy anyway. You're asking yourself, you're setting yourself up for failure.
One of the guys, just sticking with the NFL, just talking about this franchise tag and the running backs, it won't be tagged. T. Higgins,
wide receiver for the
tagged. And, I'm sure every era does this, but you look, Bray, at some of these numbers these wide receivers are getting.
Don't do it.
You've got to make you sick. You can't look back. But, I mean, even in TV, right? I mean, some of the salaries that the TV guys were making back in the day make me sick. Like, there were a lot of $1 million guys.
Yeah. Radio guys just before I got there.
I know.
We're banking it.
Yeah. $1 million guys. So it happens, I guess, maybe, I don't want to say in every industry, but in the entertainment industry at least.
No, it definitely
happens.
It definitely does. I know Robert De Niro and Al Pacino look at what these guys are making and acting. I'm like, did he just make $100 million for this movie? Meanwhile, when I did Raging Bull, I made pennies on the dollar. So it's the same. But I don't trip until you see a Christian Kirk get $24.4 million. When you see a freaking Kenny Galladay get $21 million, that's when you, as a former player, are like, all right, cut the malarkey.
He's out of the league.
$21 million
out of the league.
That's when you trip. But when you see Devontae Adams getting $32 million and going for 2 first rounds or 3 first rounds, the guy can play. T. Higgins, franchise tag, the guy can play.
Right.
That stuff doesn't bother me. But when you talk about Kenny Galladay and Christian Kirk, and then I got a problem. then I got an issue.
How brilliant did the Packers turn those two players, Aaron Rodgers and their two best players, Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams? They turned them into this youth,
a playoff team, basically.
This team that they rebuilt on the fly, and they're as good or maybe even better than they were a few years ago.
They should have been in the NFC Championship playing against the Detroit Lions.
Yes.
Like, they basically melted in the fourth quarter. They should have been playing. In those 2 moves in 2 years, they go to the NFC Championship almost, make to the semifinals. Like, Matt LaFleur, he's
got the team he wants now.
No doubt.
Legit. He's got the team he wants now.
I mean, it's gonna be a fun off season. It's gonna be a fun season.
Look out, NFC North, baby.
I'm just really dying to see what Chicago does in this situation because I do think you can really screw it up.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so you have Justin Fields and you make a trade out of that one, or you take Caleb Williams and you rebuild from there. Doesn't seem like you could screw it up, But I think you can really, really screw this thing up.
Well, they get 1-9, right?
Yeah, I got 1-9.
Can you imagine having 2-9 or 3-9?
Or get number 1 next year?
And a 1 next year?
How'd you feel if you're the Panthers right now? This should be their pick. And they should have C.J. Stroud. They shouldn't have moved. They should have took C.J. Stroud, and they would have been picking first again. Add Marvin Harrison to C.J. Stroud on the Panthers.
Well, that's how you
Not
screw
to
up
mention,
drafts.
DJ Moore will still be there.
Yes, DJ. Oh my
DJ Moore will still be a
God.
Panther.
Yep, that's how you die.
That's how you screw up franchises in the National Football
That's how
League,
you
right?
die.
That's how you screw it up. Speaking of die, is college football dead? We'll ask that question next. But first, a message.
Not if they were national champs. Jesus Christ.
From Swiss.
That's right. There's some good news and there's some bad news. The bad news is insurance rates are going up across the board in Michigan. The good news is Swiss Insurance is here to help. Right now, more than ever, it's critical for you to have your insurance reviewed. Swiss will make sure your carrier does not slip in extra fees or raise deductibles. Call Mark at Swiss Insurance today or visit SwissINS.com. And please tell them that Woodward Sports sent you.
Big Boy Seafood Fest is sailing in with a fresh catch of favorites. Dive into fish and chips, our new palm-crusted cod, perfectly fried clam shrimp platter, or a delicious fish sandwich. Try our new mango iced tea, the ultimate complement to our popcorn shrimp, our all-new fried pickles, shrimp alfredo, or shrimp stir-fry. Experience all the sea has to offer every Friday night with our all-you-can-eat seafood buffet. Every day is a fish fry, only at Big Boy.
Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
The most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Let me tell you about Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. That's right. Les Stanford now has all 4 GM brands. That's what happens when you run a great business for over 50 years. You expand and offer more products to more people. That's what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. They offer the same great service that customers have come to know. The Buick GMC brand, located in Ferndale on Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile. And of course, if you're looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac, Les Stanford in Dearborn on Michigan Avenue, where they have been for over 55 years. You can find the brand you want, all GM brands under one umbrella. LesStanford.com, LesStanford.com.
Together, let's drive.
Let's drive, baby. And now, let me tell you about Guardian Alarm.
Stay out.
Anytime you see this black and yellow sign out in front of your house, it tells the bad guys one thing.
Stay out.
Whether you are at home or on the road, they're 24/7 professional monitoring, customized solutions from real experts, and technology backed by people means you are backed by the best. Call this number right here, 1-800.
Stay out.
That number again, 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Stay out.
Oh, yeah.
What's everybody doing out there today?
What are people
Good to be
doing?
back.
Beautiful
Good to
sunny
be
day.
back.
Great to have you, bro.
Good to be back today.
You coming back tomorrow?
I think so. God
All right.
willing.
Good.
God willing.
God willing.
I want to talk a little college football if I could. Nick Saban, and again, I've maintained, and I don't know if he'll ever fully come out and say this, but Nick Saban retired because of the state of college football.
I think this is him saying that.
Nick Saban says
had it.
that he wants to do his part in bringing reform uniformity and common sense to college football. He said, what we have now is not college football. Not college football as we know it. You hear somebody use the word student athlete, that doesn't exist. We've got nobody talking about education, nobody talking about creating value for their future, to talking about how much money can I make while I'm in college. Saban says he's for players earning money based on their name, image, and likeness. Quote, but what you have now isn't name, image, and likeness. A collective is nothing to do with name, image, and likeness, end quote. He hated college football last year. He hated coaching last year. And he doesn't want to be a part of it. He'll be on College Game Day, and he'll still be working for change in college football. And Nick Saban should be the commissioner of college football, is really what happens. They should create a position, commissioner of college football, Nick Saban. I don't know how you put the toothpaste back in the tube. Yeah. I really don't. But what we have here is every coach that has the ability to coach in the NFL has left. It just has. Yeah. You've seen head coaches in college take assistant jobs in the NFL to get away from this because there's no time to coach football anymore. And I go back to what the University of Maryland head coach said, Mike Loxley, who said he had a third-string running back demand $100,000 or he was going to enter the transfer portal. That's just not where we are. That's where we are. It shouldn't be where we are.
Three things. One, we talked about this last week. I think Mike Loxley is embellishing a little bit because there's no way some third-string running back at Maryland, of all places, is requesting $100,000. Now, to get to what Nick Saban said, one, let's not forget that Nick Saban bent the rules at LSU, bent the rules at Alabama in terms of paying. And 100, Ryan, this isn't me speculating. I know players that I played on the same teams with the NFL. I know guys. I remember 100%. Marquise Hill, rest in peace, died. He was a defensive tackle for the New England Patriots. Man, I think he was the one that drowned, I think, years ago. He was committed to the University of Michigan until his mom got a house and he got a Tahoe. Much like Butch McRae and
Blue Chips.
And Blue Chips, thank you.
Thank you, Nick Nolte.
Now, with that being said,
this ain't basketball.
Great job. Nick Saban's right. Like, he's 100% right. Like, now, it's not student athletes. Like, Ryan, when I was in college, I had to make sure I had my time management, make sure the same GPA was up to par. Like, you had to spend time on school, on education. Then you had to go to practice. Then you had to deal with family and other things. It was time management. It was school. It was hard. It was tough. They don't have to do that now. They just play. They're paid to basically play football
and work out.
Like, outside of Michigan and maybe Notre Dame, I don't want to disrespect other schools, but it's the only two I know. Hey, these kids ain't going to class. These kids are paid to be football players. They're not learning the values that you're supposed to. And I'm not mad at them. It's not their fault. They're not learning the necessary life skills that you're supposed to be learning. All they're learning is show me the money, much like Jerry Maguire says. So, but like you said, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. So how do you regulate that? You can't all of a sudden say, well, maybe you guys get paid after your junior year. That's not going to happen. You're going to see a ton of lawsuits and sanctions and things of that nature. So I don't know where it goes, but Nick Saban definitely is the guy I think that could help.
Listen, man, this ain't just college football, right? This is this day and age where you have young girls and boys go on Instagram, go on Snapchat, go on TikTok, make a name for themselves. They become what's called now
influencer.
An influencer. What's an influencer when we were young? There's no such thing. So that's a new job now.
Tom Cruise.
That's a job now, man. So
this is true.
These young kids have been making money, making way more money than I could ever imagine making. Never mind these college football players that literally, like Braylon said, are brought in just to play football. We're going to pay you to play football. EA Sports put out a game the other day. I mean, was it EA? Yeah, EA Sports.
Yeah, $600.
College football 2020. Yeah. They're getting $600 for their name, image, likeness, and they get a copy of the game. Coaches included. And if you don't agree to that, they put they just put like a robot with your name on it, basically.
Like player number 23,
yep,
NBA Live 95.
Street and Chris Fowler even doing the game. It's gone, man. It's long gone, as Ernie Harwell would say.
True, but with that, the college football, you know how much money they're gonna make on college football 25, like legitimately make. They're gonna make upwards of $500 million, if not more. They said there's 11,000 or 1,100 kids on college campus, or 11,000. You do the numbers on that. $6 million, I think, is what they said to pay out, or 3.4. They got way more money that they can pay those players, but something respectable. Like, you can look it up, Ryan. I think it's $6 million is what they're paying out, when that game is going to make upwards of 500.
Right.
500 or more. They can figure that out. But to your point, man, I agree with everything else that you said, talking about the influence.
The world's
talking
different.
And it'll never be anything like what we used to know.
No, it's those days are gone, man.
Yeah.
If you want that, just watch reruns like I do. That's it. Other than that, this is your game.
I mean, who's going to say no to the $600 though? Isn't it cool to be in the game?
Of course.
Don't you want to be in the game?
Of course.
Unless you're Arch Manning and you've been making $1 million since before you even got to college.
Someone will sue this probably.
100%.
And win.
No, I don't know.
The game sucks now, right?
Well, I judge things by my passion.
Yeah.
Like, and I have nothing left for college football. I have nothing left.
Let alone college basketball.
Oh, my God. Look at this.
I haven't seen one college basketball game
Can I just say
since
one
the
thing?
national championship. And I
turned the Michigan-Purdue game on.
Put up the scores, Pete. Here we go.
I turned the Michigan-Purdue game on the other day. Michigan fought hard. They're completely overmatched. They're playing the number 2 team in the country, or whatever the case may be. Ohio State beat Michigan State at the buzzer. There's a nice 3-pointer there. But Purdue, Michigan played before half the stadium was Purdue. If you just, like, seriously.
Yeah.
Michigan doesn't even, I was going to tweet this out, but then I'm like, I don't want to do it. They have no Maze Rage anymore.
Michigan State took over Chrysler Arena.
The Maze Rage is gone.
It's gone.
That's what Juwan Howard.
Yeah.
He's the coach.
Yeah.
That's what Juwan Howard has done to
culture.
Michigan basketball in 5 years. There is no Maze Rage.
Yeah.
Gone. Crazy.
You also don't see, one of the big things about, that attending the University of Michigan is watching the other sports that would attend the games. Like, we went to all the basketball. We sucked when I was in school, but it still was Michigan basketball. We went. Remember when they got good? You start to see Denard Robinson was always in the crowd. Insert player, Mike Hart, insert player here. Now, not only is the Maze Rage gone, you don't have the football team. You don't have the women's basketball team. You don't have the track team. You don't have anybody. Nobody's going to Chrysler Arena, which sucks because they've put all this money into revamping Chrysler Arena, now for it to be an empty shell of itself. They got to figure it out. Like, they have to figure out, why can't we be good at football and basketball at the same time? It never can we be good at both. When basketball was good, football sucks. Football is now great, basketball sucks.
And I do feel bad for the players, man. This year in particular has been, and say whatever you want about Juwan Howard, I do think the health plays a role.
Yeah.
And I do think his passion plays a role. When you are on the brink of death, I think that plays a role into how you want to go about living your life too.
Yeah.
There's no doubt he loves Michigan. There's no doubt he loves Michigan basketball. He loves the kids. He wants to be good. I just don't know if he's got it in him anymore. If he physically has the capability to be a coach, the stress that being a coach puts on your heart is something that, I don't think I'll ever fully understand or be capable of feeling. But who's coaching us this week? Is it Phil Martelli? Is it Juwan Howard? These players are just, I feel bad for
them. The program has bottomed out. It's the worst. Is this not the worst year of Michigan basketball in their history?
They were bad when I was at 0102. Yeah, we won the NIT
tournament. It's the fourth time in history they've lost 20 games in a season.
This is horrible.
Maz, is it just me? I could be wrong. It seems like the program, Juwan Howard, it seemed like Juwan Howard lost the fight after the fight.
Yes.
Like the Wisconsin
totally.
The Wisconsin situation.
Gone.
Yeah, 100. After that happened,
it's gone.
Completely.
Because he had to change who he is.
100. Oh, good call.
He had to change who he is. You can't be yourself when you're trying to be something else.
And you can't succeed when you're not yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then how about the strength and conditioning coach against his son against the strength and conditioning coach? There's too many.
Yeah.
The place, it burned down. It burned down.
And
they got to start over.
Yeah, I don't know where you go either. You know, I mean, you look at a guy like Hunter Dickinson. He clearly left for money, and again, I don't blame the kid.
Yeah.
He's not going to probably be.
And I don't think he liked the whole field.
Well, yeah, I don't know about that. I'm just saying, like, if you're a top-end player in college basketball.
That's a major red flag.
Yeah, like, if you're a top-end player in college basketball, though, you're going to go where you're going to get paid. That's just the way it is. Now, we talk about football.
Yeah.
Basketball, you go where you get the check.
Yeah.
And Michigan ain't cutting a check to anybody.
Not to mention, I guess, also, it's Kansas. It's not like Michigan. Look, Michigan football is blue blood. Michigan basketball, maybe not so much elite, but not blue blood. He left to go to Kansas. Kansas is the blue blood of the blue bloods.
I mean, he's probably making $800,000, $900,000 million bucks.
He's not going to make that in NBA.
Well,
He's still be
exactly,
overseas.
and that's what a lot of these players are playing. I think the next fight for college athletics, because of the money that players can make in both football and basketball, I think the next antitrust fight that you are going to see is players wanting to play a 5th, 6th, and 7th year because of the money that's allowed. And where you say, well, if I'm going to get my master's degree, I'm still a student.
Yeah, PhD now.
So you can go get your master's degree or a post-bachelor, hell, you can get a doctorate.
This is
you
true.
You could stay in school for, 8 years and make that kind of money that you can make in college. I mean, Hunter Dickinson is like playing around a bunch of 20. He's 4 years older than everybody else on the floor.
He's a grown man.
So
looks so weird seeing him.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt, guys. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, these two guys are going to bring you home. I have a doctor's appointment that I have got to get to. I've had it for 3 months.
Godspeed.
I got to do it. So I'm gonna get out of here. Maz, Braylon, and bring you home. But we will send it over to Tom Mazaway now for a look at Seafood Fest.
It is. It's a new Big Boy read, folks. Seafood Fest is back at Big Boy. Catch it while you can. Dive into fish and chips. Their new Parmesan crusted cod, perfectly fried clam strip platter, or a delicious fish sandwich. Big Boy must try. It's the new mango iced tea. How about the ultimate compliment to the popcorn shrimp, the shrimp Alfredo, or the shrimp stir fry? Every day is a fish fry at Big Boy. Don't forget, every Friday night, it's the all-you-can-eat seafood buffet at your local Big Boy.
And a miraculous catch! Follow us everywhere. Just search Woodward Sports on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, IG, and more.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
And a miraculous catch!
Follow us everywhere. Just search Woodward Sports on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, IG, and more.
Big Boy Seafood Fest is sailing in with a fresh catch of favorites. Dive into fish and chips, our new palm-crusted cod, perfectly fried clam shrimp platter, or a delicious fish sandwich. Try our new mango iced tea, the ultimate complement to our popcorn shrimp, our all-new fried pickles, shrimp Alfredo, or shrimp stir fry. Experience all the sea has to offer every Friday night with our all-you-can-eat seafood buffet. Every day is a fish fry. Only.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Hey guys, it's Maz for Jack Labrador, jacklabrador.gg. If you want to know how to play this great game, a new take on rock, paper, scissors, just click on that QR code above my head. Go to right now, jacklabrador.gg. So this is what you do when you want to play rock, paper, scissors and teach your kid that old game. You want to get them into Jack Labrador. 2 new symbols and a franchise-changing 3-point play, folks. This is the Champions deck. Comes with a deck of cards and, of course, a nice chip for you. There's 3 other games you could play on here. The Motor City Showdown, Spell My Name, and Pink Slip. It's for 2 players or more, ages 8 and above. Right now, jacklabrador.gg. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Yeah. It's a nice deck you got there, Maz.
Thank you, buddy.
It's a beautiful deck.
Appreciate that.
Maz got the good deck.
Hey, you got a big head.
Yeah, I know. That's the only hat I could find to fit myself today.
How about that,
Coming in with that attitude.
Hey, welcome in.
Hey, welcome.
Sticks in for Ryan for the next few minutes. Braylon coming back from a bathroom
Pete, you got to
break.
raise the camera to fit this whole damn hat in this bitch.
Bray, did you know that this character was going to walk in?
We just talked about it.
Ryan yelled it on the way out. He's like, I gotta go. Before the show, he said 3:55 he was leaving.
No, 3:35.
3:35.
3:35.
All right.
He's got to get his prostate checked out.
He's got to do something.
We could have done that in the back.
Is it?
Hey, welcome back to
Always
Ermanni
good to be back
Edwards
with
with me, Maz, and Stick is in the house, JB, and Pete as well.
Pete!
Hey, I wanted to get
What's up,
around
boys?
the NFL here, but I wanted to start it off with a little brouhaha yesterday involving Cam Newton. Let's give you a look at this, and then Braylon's got a little take. What was he doing, first of all, Bray? He was there at
707 camp. So it's 707 camp. He does these things. He puts them on to basically help the community, help the kids out, get them some looks. This is how it kind of started. 707 leads into high school, and eventually college and the NFL. It's just no space for this. It's no space for this. Cam gets such a bad rap. You know, if you don't like Cam, that's one thing. You don't like the hair. You don't like the hat.
His witch's hat did not fall off, by the way.
It's an expensive hat.
The scarecrow hat.
It's an elite hat, as you will. But when someone does things like this in the community, Stick, and you're very well versed being in the community, little league, high school, etc., you do things as well. When somebody's putting on for their neighborhood, their community, and you're allowing parents to, a space for their kids to come out and, why are you fighting Cam Newton? Like, why are you attacking this man? And look, this is my people. So let me speak on this. Black people are crabs in the barrel to a certain extent. There's no room for this. Now you got kids that think it's okay to swing on a guy that brought this to them. Like, this isn't cool at all. And I was reading the comments online, and it's just doubling down and tripling down jokes. This isn't funny. Like, this is not funny.
It's Cam hate.
100%, and it starts with people like us at the desk that crack the jokes and do all that, and then people comment on the jokes, and then when you see them, like when JB and I were talking, this happened before when he did a camp like 5 years ago where the kid was cracking, I'm fast as you, I beat you up or something like that.
Yep.
It's just no room for this. When you don't see white people doing this. Like you don't
You
see.
haven't been to a Buffalo Bills tailgate.
You don't see. Well, that's different. They're fan. You don't see Luke Kuechly having a camp in the community and this happening.
Facts.
You
That's
won't
a
see
fact.
that, man. This is my people. Like this is BS.
Well, one of the things it is clout chasing too, right? To be able to say I beat up a Cam Newton. Braylon, I've been out with you in public, and the way you handle yourselves against MSU idiots who just yell at you and want to get a rise out of you, want to say, "Hey, I went toe to toe with Braylon Edwards." Like it's the only thing these people have to live for because they have nothing else going on in their life. And when I first saw it, I just thought, how stupid. Like you mentioned, it's for kids. They're doing a camp, but on top of that, regular people should not be trying NFL people.
He's 6'6", 260.
They're beasts. Like, you are a monster. Joik Bell, when he was in here, like, when you touched the guy, it was like he was built out of
like
steel,
a wall.
right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And you see these guys, and social media, I think Mike Tyson put it, has made a lot of people very comfortable talking without getting punched in the mouth.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's what it is. It's the carryover from Cam Newton's had a take I didn't like, and I think we've joked about some of the things Cam Newton has said. Calling people game managers.
I don't agree with everything he says at all.
No, but then you take it beyond that, because it's like, no, that's his opinion. Outside of it, challenge him on his opinion. Laugh about it. Make a joke about it. If you catch me or Braylon in public and you don't agree with something we said,
we can
I
rap.
got no problem problem having
can
that
talk it
verbal
out.
spar, right?
Yeah.
You know, because when I say something, I usually have a reason for it, and I mean it. But yeah, for people like this, it's just there's no teaching them, because if they fight Cam, now they have something that they've actually accomplished in their life.
Yeah, the cameras are rolling, guys.
Right.
The cameras are rolling.
Well, there was an event this weekend down at Wayne State Fieldhouse for a gentleman who got killed in a drive-by shooting. And unfortunately, Wayne State had to cancel that event because of all the threats towards the family and the people supporting that event. And Wayne State ended up donating $10,000 to the cause because they couldn't even host an event because a kid got killed in a drive-by shooting, and they couldn't have the event without people threatening. And it's just, I don't know, society's so weird like that.
It's social media.
It is social media.
And it stems from like analysts or stems from jokes. You know, another situation I give you, like the Russell Westbrook situation. Skip Bayless, for the better part of 10 years, called him Westbrick. Then it turned into a thing. Then that became his name. Then everybody had jokes. And then he would go to the arenas. And then his kids would get teased at school. Kids had to stop going to school because of the type of hate perpetuated by us at the desk. Right. Essentially, man. And then you get you take that information and you put it on social media, and you get this. You get this firestorm.
Yeah, it's just stupid. I mean,
Yeah,
there's no other way to put it. And as you saw, like, I got to give credit to Cam Newton because he didn't demolish any of those guys. He was more in defense mode.
He was doing this.
Right. He was
doing. You don't want to get sued.
No.
Exactly, and that's the other thing.
Right.
Like, he's at such a disadvantage.
He loses.
If Braylon punches me, I'm suing Braylon. If I punch Braylon, Braylon can't sue me for a damn thing because I don't have anything, right? Like,
Note to self. Note to self.
But
don't let stick hit you.
It's a lose-lose situation for the celebrity / athlete in that situation, because if he does swing back and knock those guys out, it looks awesome. We can laugh about it. World star, we can do all that. But at the end of the day, those guys are going to sue because they know Cam's got money.
And the thing that I hate about this match the most, to be honest, outside the fact that it happened, is when you watch it online, every caption was Cam gets into a fight. Cam fighting again. Cam doing this. As
Cam
opposed to
defending himself.
Cam defending himself at a camp that he put on by unruly individuals, parents, and
Totally.
players.
That's
It's
sad.
the way they caption it. Now it makes Cam look even worse. He can't win from freaking losing.
No.
Well, and it's not even the kids that are losing out in that event. It's maybe Cam's no longer going to put on that event. So it's
community.
Future kids are losing out because of these idiots. It's a
I
horrible
wouldn't
situation.
blame him if he said go to hell. The hell with it.
Yeah,
I'm done.
Mean, why would you put forth that much effort, your time, your energy? He's not getting anything out of that. He's not getting paid off of that. Yeah, from some clowns.
Side note, like 6-on-1, and he was not moving.
6-on-1.
He goes up against defensive linemen that train all their lives to murder you, and you
Von
think your
Miller.
little 160-pound soaking wet ass is going to be able to do something to Cam Newton?
Yeah, it's tough.
Come on, guy. Like I'm a pretty boastful, I'm a pretty confident guy.
Yeah.
But I know when I've gotten in fights with people, I'm like, I'm probably gonna lose this fight, and
But
I
I'm
know,
going for it.
I'm not gonna mess with that guy. Like I'm smart enough to know who I am. And I
It's so
could never
fun.
imagine picking.
I
a
was
fight.
watching that, and one instant in me, just for a small second, I was like, man, I wish I was some cold cock one of those dudes.
Yeah.
Just cold cock one of them.
How about that kid that came up and punched him? I wanted to go through the video and just hit that kid on my own.
Like, yeah, it wasn't, to be honest, it's an embarrassment. It was a 100% embarrassment.
Hey, I'm glad Stick's here because I want to bring something up.
Uh-oh.
This comes perfectly. Remember I sent you a video? You and Anson?
Uh-huh.
Okay, you answered me back?
Yeah.
Okay, check this out, Bray. We always argue, when do you call off the dogs in a game?
Okay.
All right, I'm going to take basketball, for instance, right now. And let's run the video here. Don't put the volume on. Let's run the video, Pete, and talk about it. And Isaiah Thomas wrote, when did this become an unwritten rule where you don't shoot up a three-point shot when your team is up by double digits and the clock's ticking down? The other team doesn't want to play defense. Watch what happens. Chucks up a three. The guy gets dead man. The guy on Brooklyn gets mad. And I forgot the two players that are involved in this right now. They start fighting. Blah, blah, blah. When do you stop playing?
What were they winning by at that point?
They were up 15 with the seconds clicking down.
I mean, at the end of the day, like it's always been interesting to me, but it has always been an unwritten rule. Like when the game's over, Like you're not putting up threes for. And it's funny thing, it's Mike Conley though.
Yeah, it's Conley.
Like Conley's
You see who pushed him?
Connolly's a veteran player. He's been playing for the better part of 14 years now, so he knows better. It's the NBA, man. They're weird. Like, they care about certain things. This is one thing that they care about. I think it was a couple years ago. It was Lance Stevenson when he got the layup to get the triple-double when they tried to fight him in Toronto. NBA is weird like that. I'm like, you guys never fight. Why fight about this?
Yeah, I'm just going to argue devil's advocate, though. Like, if you don't like it, stop it. Don't be down by 15. And you know what? If I'm Conley sitting there, you think I'm going to take the turnover on my stat sheet? Yeah. I want to put up a shot, right?
100%.
Like, it shouldn't hurt anybody.
And it went in.
I like it when the coaches put in their bench players at the end of the game, and those guys can go all out. But, yeah, to me, it's if you don't like it, dude, you're driving off in a Bentley. You're getting paid millions of dollars, and you're mad because a guy ran up the score on you. You're a professional. Deal with it. Like, deal with it.
At 100%. I mean, it's funny. In football, I was always the type of guy stick. In football, we're winning. Just keep going. Yeah. Like, I don't care if there's 35 seconds left. If we're at the 20, like, I was always the guy stick. I'm not falling down or, like, taking a knee just because I'm at the 20 and the game's over and I can go in. I'm scoring that touchdown. Like, I'm adding that to my stats. Like you said, it's your fault. Stop me.
Stop. What happened between the Saints and the Falcons last year? Dennis Allen said to Jameson Williams, to Jameis Winston, call off the dogs, take the kneel down. It's over. They were on the 1 yard line. Atlanta's there. They're standing up. They've lost the game. Yeah. Saints are going in. Jamal Williams has not scored a touchdown all year. Our old guy.
Yep.
So what does Jameis do? He's like, hey, I'm handing the ball to Jamal, and you're going to score a touchdown. So Jamal scores a touchdown. Falcons, of course, get mad. He disobeyed his coach, and he's like, it's the end of the year. We're not going to see them again. But he don't think you are going to see him again.
Twice.
You play twice every year.
Twice.
So I bring that up.
Yeah, but who cares? I mean, maybe that touchdown gets Swaggy going. Maybe that breaks.
It's the end of the year.
But still, you're feeding, like, you can pick up bad habits trying to be a gentleman on the field.
He had a parlay going. That's what that was.
Yeah, there you go.
He had a parlay
the over-under.
Jamal Williams scored touch.
But same thing, man. If you don't like it, stop it. It's really, to me, that simple. If you're at a youth level and you're beating up somebody by 30 points, okay, I can understand that being disrespectful. That's a youth level. That's instructional. Yeah. When these are professionals who are getting paid, you're signing that check. You're cashing the check, right?
Oh, 100%.
For the entire 60 minutes of a football game?
Yeah, yes.
Not just 48 because you're getting your ass beat?
This is true.
So, I'm sorry. You're on the clock. Everybody else got to play hard, too. I don't feel bad. I never will.
All right.
Do you feel bad, though, man? Like, you think there should be an unwritten rule?
At the end of the game,
Thomas.
To me, there's an unwritten rule. You don't dig a team when they're down. You're down.
But what purpose, though? Just to be a gentleman?
Yeah, it's a gentleman's game.
I think Falcons and Saints is. I think there's difference. I think Falcons and Saints. Like, I agree with you on that, man. I was like, look, y'all know each other. You're same division. You play twice a year. You may not want to do it, but just another game, man. I don't know.
Do you remember when Arthur Smith ran across the field to tackle basically Dennis Allen? And Dennis Allen's like, hey, man, I told him to sit on the ball.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Arthur Smith has been fired since then.
So, conversely, just throwing this out there, when Brett Favre kind of just took a sack for Reggie White.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
You didn't like that?
No,
but
I
why?
hated the
He was
Michael
being
Strahan.
a gentleman.
I hated the Michael Strahan fake sack.
But he was being a gentleman.
No, that's different. That's breaking a record.
It was going to happen anyway.
But it's the same thing. You're laying down for somebody for no reason, right?
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, you can pick up those types of, oh, well, I did the right thing. I was a nice guy. But it doesn't apply to every situation that you want them to just tip the cap. Good job. No, screw that.
I always forget, what point in the game did the Strahan sack happen?
It was at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was meaningless. Like, just like that bucket is meaningless.
It's 20-second sack, I think. 20-second and a half.
It's okay.
Brett wanted to be in the record books. Right. He wanted to be a part of it.
I like Michael. I'm glad he got the record. But Reggie White, let's face it, he earned every one of those sacks.
And listen,
Reggie White had like 60 sacks in the USFL that do not count.
No.
The key to this is unwritten rule. Until it's written, I don't give a damn about your fake set of
rules. That's what Zeke said, basically.
Yeah.
I got a couple of baseball ones for you before we go, guys. Check this out. This is Toronto Jays. The Toronto Blue Jays are playing yesterday, spring ball. They have a pitcher named Tim Mesa. They made him the bat boy for the game because he finished last in his fantasy football. You see the number? 4 and 10. They made him wear that jersey. 4 and 10. And he was the bat boy for the day. That's Tim Meza for finishing last in fantasy football. I just thought that was just classic. I loved it.
Team bonding at its best.
Isn't that great?
Sometimes when you finish last, you actually win. Sometimes you actually win.
But hats off to
4 and
Toronto
10.
too for letting them do that as
Heck
well.
yeah.
Like making the jersey guy had to make the jersey. The team had
I
to
know.
allow that to happen.
That's pretty
But
funny.
that builds camaraderie. Like if you can laugh at yourself.
He had Aaron Rodgers on the team, probably. Right, Aaron Rodgers. Oh man, when is fantasy baseball? When do we?
We haven't drafted yet.
Okay,
Don't worry.
you gotta keep me updated.
Yep, we're
Has
gonna
there
send
ever been a fantasy football league here at Woodward Sports to make it through the entire season?
the first one.
Yeah, nah.
The first one.
First one.
The one we had fans involved, right?
Yeah, we had like 14 teams on each side. Remember
Yeah.
at one point?
But then there's
Yeah.
always some crappy
Yeah.
commissioner.
This past year it got out of hand.
I love
got
that.
out of hand.
So this is my first year actually playing and actually being a part. I actually won one of my fantasy leagues, and then this one. So there was a trade that was done that people didn't like, and after the trade, it just went off the rails.
That's how it goes. One guy will drop his whole team, and
That's what Spence did.
It was bad.
It was
This league
bad.
was bad. I got something imparting for you.
All because I picked up Jalen Hurts.
Of course,
Jesus
this is
Christ.
near and dear to my heart. 12 years ago today, the great Pete Weber made history.
The
Check it
crotch
out.
chop.
Who do you think you
Let's
are?
hear it.
I am.
Strike to claim it. A strike to claim it. And he got it! Are you kidding me? That's right. Who do you think you are? I am. Get it right.
Who do you think you are? I am.
People
The great Pete Weber.
People
Pete got me
forget-
that shirt, by the way.
People forget that ESPN made their money in the early 90s and when they really were coming on bowling and pool. Like bowling and billiards.
Black Widow.
Always
Remember the
on
Black Widow?
One. Michelle Jeanette Lee.
Jeanette Lee.
Like,
Oh, the Black Widow.
Her 30 for 30 was dope. I
It was.
didn't know she was messed up like
Yeah,
that.
she got sick.
Yeah, I never
Yeah,
knew
she
that. I
got
always
sick.
been like, what happened to her? And then
She's
I
still
watched it.
battling.
100%
Yeah,
she
she's still
is.
The best part
Yeah.
is, that was an impromptu state. Like he didn't process.
Oh,
No,
no.
he
what the hell
didn't.
But it came,
He
like,
blanked out.
It's one of the he
He
just
blacked out.
but
I
it's
am.
one of the
Wait, what did I
greatest
say?
quotes though of all time. Like it's I'm him before I'm him.
You know why you gotta love that, Maz? You see what the score was to win. It was 215. It doesn't matter how good you think you are. Like professional bowlers, they
yeah.
shoot 215 from time to time.
Oh, well, that's because the alleys are hard. I
Oh,
mean,
100%.
anyone could throw.
100%.
Anyone could throw a 300 on. Well, not everyone, but
Yeah.
you could throw high scores on these league.
That's like I don't
league
understand
alleys.
when people are so mad at themselves. Like you go golfing, like guys like legitimately shoot 90 and be mad. I'm like,
That's pretty good.
like I've seen Tiger shoot 83. Like, calm down, relax, sir.
Yeah, you're like
Relax.
in the top 10% of golfers in the world if you could break 90.
1,000%.
It's so crazy.
1,000%. But everybody thinks they're Tiger Woods. Everybody thinks they're Peter Weber. If you
What do you think? What do you think is more? What do you think is the better achievement? A hole in one, or shooting a 300 and like an 800 series for 3 games at bowling? That goes together.
Hole in one.
Hole in one.
Hole in one.
Hole in one.
Hole in
Yeah.
one.
I mean,
How
every
about-
bowling alley I've ever been in, they have a whole effing wall
Yeah.
of 300 games.
I
Well,
think
no, it's 12 shots.
the hardest is a 900 series. I think is.
Well, yeah, it's almost impossible.
I think a 900 series is right on par with a hole in one, but I agree with Stick. Hole in one is because you get a
But
hole
don't you
in
think
one.
you can be lucky on a hole? You can
Doesn't
get
matter.
lucky.
Yeah. You can.
You can't get. Well, you can get a little lucky if you throw a 300 game. There's
If you
gonna be
hit
a
a
couple
hole in one,
shots in
like
there.
there's luck to it, but you knew what you were doing. Like you got the right club, the right shot. Like you got close enough, and it's still luck.
Like when a 12-year-old goes out there for his first time golfing and gets his hole in one, yeah, that's luck. That's clearly luck. But hole in one. I've never had a hole in one. So
Well, a lot of people
I've thrown
have
a lot
it.
of strikes.
Yeah, but you have to throw 12 in a row.
Yeah, but I know I can throw a strike. I don't
Then
know
you
if
have
I
to
can
come
get a
back
hole
the
in
following game and throw a big game.
Yeah.
And then the following game throw a big game to get an over 800 series.
one. Great sport achievement either way.
It is.
If I've thrown a 300, but not in championship league, so like crossing
Right.
in a real lane, so
Yeah.
I don't count it. But
it's fun. You did it.
But
That's
I'm
hard
going
to throw
home.
that many
like,
strikes.
After 300, I'm going home. Like, there is no next game. There is no back this game up and prove you did it. 300, I'm taking a picture, shooting the deuces.
Hey, thanks for popping in, buddy.
Hey, thanks for having me. Always fun to talk sports.
We appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Woodward Sports Network, man. This is what we do. You never know who'll pop up like my man Stick over there. Ryan Ermanni will be back tomorrow, and so will we. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. This is Edwards and Ermanni and Stick and JB and P Spivak and my man Tom Mazza.
I love how you put your name first, man.
Oh, you saw that?
Yeah.
You saw that?
I heard it, yeah.
I got top billing this time.
Yeah. Hey, if Ryan's not in the seat, who else is going to be?
Edwards.
See you guys.
See you guys tomorrow.